During Iron Maiden's relentless worldwide Killers tour, Paul Di'Anno was exhausted, disinterested, and began to abuse drugs and alcohol. Iron Maiden's rival band Samson had a very high-screaming, sometimes stated as air raid siren vocalist known as Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson was a very great singer who had an amazing stage presence but had a massive vocal range. Shortly after Paul Di'Anno was kicked out of the band, Rod Smallwood asked Bruce to join Maiden, and he accepted. Bruce with Iron Maiden finished the Killers tour. Every song on Iron Maiden and Killers, with the exception of the song Killers, were all written right before the Iron Maiden debut. So they had completely run out of songs, so they began to write from scratch. And Bruce Dickinson had no writing credits. Some say he may have wrote some songs on the album such as Children of the Damned, but we will never know. So for the most part, the writing was taken care of by Steve Harris and new guitarist Adrian Smith, who had joined on Killers. Adrian Smith's writing style would greatly complement Steve Harris's, Steve's songs being more progressive and a lot of changes, and Adrian's being more metal and badass and more catchy. The album had two extremely successful singles that will be Iron Maiden classics to this day, Run to the Hills and fan favorite Number of the Beast. Although praised highly to this day, the album gained a lot of both negative and positive publicity when it was released. It gained great reviews, but the public had shunned the album for its demonic look and sound. Several religious groups bought many of the records just to burn them, which only helped the sales of the album. And due to all this publicity, Number of the Beast went #1 in the UK. The Beast on the Road Tour was extremely successful, and they played many classic places like Hammersmith Odeon. They gained massive success. They played larger venues, larger audiences, crazier shows, and crazier stage aesthetics such as explosions and huge Eddie suits. Number of the Beast would be their last album before going into a more softer progressive direction, but is the defining album of the new wave of British heavy metal. This is Number of the Beast. Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, 1982, and there's so much shit to talk about, it'll probably take me 666 minutes. Now, of course, the lineup is the exact same with the exception of Paul Di'Anno being gone and Bruce Dickinson being in, which is a huge fucking change, which will almost launch us into the classic era of Maiden. The artwork is really something to talk about. We have Eddie, who's a little bit older, I guess. He's kind of got gray hair and stuff. And he's a puppeteer of the devil himself. And then below the devil, it seems like he's doing the same thing with his hand. He's puppeteering another man, and there's like fire everywhere. So it's as if Eddie controls the devil, and then the devil controls man. It's really cool. There's like crazy clouds and lightning everywhere. It's absolutely iconic. But what's weird is there was actually a printing error on the originals. So the original's really light blue when it was originally supposed to be black. And now they've re-released it with what the original artwork is supposed to be like. Musicianship is perfect on this album. Clive, not as great as the last album, but still pretty damn good. Just more rhythm keeping, not crazy fills like the last album. Then we have Steve, not as great or noticeable, but still great as well. Now, Adrian Smith, this is something to talk about. I highly enjoy his solos in this album, and they completely blend with Dave's. And Dave, great as well. They work together so perfectly. Now, the production is a tiny bit of a boost off the last album. Songwriting is also really great. This is when Iron Maiden go into a line of albums where it's just almost everybody writing songs, I believe. For the most part, though, it's Adrian, Steve, and then starting the next album will be Bruce, the three of them, and then the occasional Dave Murray song. For the most part, each song gels really well together. There's a lot of great upbeat songs, some really cool progressive songs. For the most part, they're all very heavy. We have some great big choruses that are really catchy. Everything just works perfect together. Let's get to the first song, Invaders. Interesting thing about this one is, one, they have never played this live, I think. Actually, no, they have. But they didn't open their show with it on the Beast on the Road, which is weird because usually they'll open their set with the first track of the album they just released, to support it. Another thing though is that most people do not like Invaders, oddly enough. I do like it though. I think the lyrics are a tiny bit corny, but the riffs and the musicianship from everybody is so damn upbeat, so catchy, I really don't care. We start out with this cool, quick intro that really starts off the album on this heavy note, and I really like how it has this really cool new wave of British heavy metal tone to it, especially when the lyrics come in. So then we get this another riff on top of it that somewhat follows it with just chords, just really fast chords, but played in a sequence where it follows the vocals. Really classic of the new wave for British heavy metal, or just early heavy metal in general. After the cool verse-chorus parts that everybody hates, the chorus is a little bit cheesy though, because it's just invaders attacking. It gets a little annoying too, because he does do that real annoying high note, but I still like the rest of the song. It's probably the weakness of the song, is that high note in the chorus. But then we move on to this middle section that's really cool, and we have dueling leads from both Dave and Adrian. Starting with Dave, this really fast, epic solo, as this amazing duel of solos, and fucking back to the awesome part. I love that riff. The whole thing is cool, but overall just a cool, catchy opening track, and I do really enjoy it. Then we move on to Children of the Sea. I mean Children of the Grave. I mean Children of the Damned. It's kind of a ballad, really beautiful one too. It just builds up this beautiful atmosphere at the beginning, especially with his first intro solo that's filled with so much passion and power. And then we come in with Bruce on the verse that is just so beautiful. He's kind of in this, I guess you could say, a shy moment where it's just this real quiet, melodic sort of thing. The lyrics are spectacular, without a doubt. You could tell Steve wrote it. There's a lot of metaphors and just sort of referring to, I think it's called illusions. Then out of nowhere, from this beautiful shy type of mood, Bruce just launches it into this fucking explosive chorus. Nothing too much there, he just keeps saying Children of the Damned over and over. Then we get into this really cool high-speed middle section. Then here we go with another Adrian Smith solo, which is just a bunch of amazing tapping. I truly love it. And then it returns again to that type of frantic vibe again. Some cool vocal melodies from Bruce. Musicianship is pretty damn good, although I will say the other members could have shined more. It seemed just like Bruce and Adrian shine, and a little bit of Clive. For the most part, an amazing song. This one is about some old-ass TV show called The Prisoner, I believe. This show was about, obviously, a prisoner. I think he tried to escape and all this stuff. Type of Shawshank Redemption shit going on. Weird intro, it just sounds like a bunch of clips of different things that go incoherently. Kind of stupid in my opinion. Even though it is classic, none of it makes any sense with each other, because it's like, you are number 2, who is number 1? You are number 6, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. It makes no fucking sense. But then we get into this cool build-up with Clive Burr. His drumming is just top-notch on this song. Really drives this song, in my opinion. He's probably the best part of it. And then chorus, real classic, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. Real melodic. And then we get to the middle section. Holy shit, this one's really cool. Nice build-up again. Cool guitar melodies, just like they did on the last song. And then we bust into another guitar solo. First one, Adrian. Then we go Dave Murray. And back and forth, all this crazy shit. The middle section is actually very good and what made me love the song. Then we return to the catchy-ass chorus again. It's just overall classic song. Then we get to the next song, 22 Acacia Avenue. This is by far one of my favorite songs. Wasn't a big fan of it, kind of like a lot of the other songs. Now I am. Holy shit, I finally get it. I only remembered, like, the first part, and then when I listened to it again, I was like, how many fucking parts are to this song? It is heavy as hell, progressive, way more changes, great solos, great melodies, memorable. It is about Charlotte the Harlot. So the song starts with this memorable riff. This is a full-on Adrian song. The riffs are so badass and catchy. They drive the whole song. It has this badass type of groove to it as well. We get to a faster part, somewhat towards the middle. We're almost at the middle section, like the bridge, I guess you could call it, where Clive's just doing this crazy type of drum fill back and forth. And then we go into the middle section finally. Middle section great, really well developed, and an impressive as holy fuck solo from Dave Murray that is slower paced and just so melodic. Holy balls! But the ending part, the ending section, is just the cherry on the top. And not only because the riff is just so catchy, like even catchier than before, but Adrian's solo on top of it, filled with so much passion. I can't even explain these solos except just saying passion. They're some of the best Iron Maiden solos ever. And it seems like on this album, both guitarists have complete equality. They both have equal amount of solos. So overall, 22 Acacia Avenue, everybody's on fire on this song. Even Steve Harris, there's this part during Adrian's solo towards the end of it where it sounds like all of his fingers are just hitting this one bass string, going completely batshit insane.
Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666.
Classic intro. Classic riff that is basically just a rip-off of The Saints Come Marching In. It's the same type of major scale, I believe it's called. Then we get to the classic Number of the Beast chorus, which of course is just the 666 Number of the Beast. Here we go, the middle section has this really great build-up that is epic as hell in scope, and that is real classic in sounding. This is such a Steve Harris riff, and we explode into the awesome fucking solo from Dave Murray, which I actually originally thought was Adrian Smith because he puts this weird effect that Adrian would do on Can I Play With Madness, but no, it's actually Dave. But the riffing, of course, is just him sweeping a lot like he always does, his crazy hammers and fucking passing tones he loves to do. And then we have another type of cool transitional part with bass leading that, and then we get into Adrian's solo, which is equally badass. Then we return to that cool verse and chorus again, so not too much of the song, but it's just so iconic. Overall, Number of the Beast is really great, and I forgot to mention that Steve came up with the song because he watched The Omen and then fell asleep and had a nightmare, and all the lyrics are depicted of his nightmare. So some say it's about The Omen, and I believe the intro is from The Omen, but correct me on that if I'm wrong. Once again, musicianship, everybody's on their A game. And then here we go, another classic single. This, Number of the Beast, and the last song are mainstays on their set list to this very day. Run to the Hills had a cool music video, it's pretty funny, and it's about the two different perspectives of the whole conquering of the Indians or going out in the Great Plains and stuff like that. The first part, which is the intro, which is really cool, has this sort of annoying bend part that keeps bending, which I believe is Dave Murray doing that, of course. He does a lot of the lead parts. And that part is actually through the perspective of the Native American. Full force speed into the verse, which the intro part actually never repeats again. So it's a little bit like 22 Acacia Avenue, because that intro never repeated. So we go full force in this cool verse. Just real fast riffage. The bass totally leads this song. Steve, of course, wrote it. And the chorus, it is iconic. The most iconic new wave of British heavy metal song ever. And before the whole glam hairband era, before Quiet Riot started getting picked up or whatever, this is probably the most classic metal song or classic rock song ever. The chorus is just so melodic and catchy. Bruce is getting into such high register while Adrian's giving great backing vocals. And I believe even Bruce does an extra layer of backing vocals, but the harmonies are just so perfect. Then we get to a really cool, quick middle section solo thing. It's just more of a catchy song, cool, quick single, and it's just so amazing at doing that. And then after the crazy solo, we get these real quick guitar harmonies in the higher parts of the guitar, the rock chord real fast, and going into higher keys, and then doing the same thing. And then we get Bruce building up the whole explosion at the end that returns to the chorus, which repeats a couple times. Holy shit, another Iron Maiden classic. I'm gonna be short with this song, Gangland. Let's just say the B-side or bonus track or whatever that's on the remastered, which is just one of the extra tracks after this song anyways. Steve has gone on record saying he should have put that instead of this song. This song, it's just so painfully average. Let's go to the beginning of the song. It's a cool sort of drum part. It's really unique. So to know that the song follows that kind of drum beat, it's really bizarre. But the guitar riffs are pretty cool. They help the song out a lot. But one of my problems is that the vocals or something, the production of the song just doesn't make any sense because it's all just a clusterfuck. The rhythm and stuff is louder than the vocals or something. It just gets drowned and it's like a big fight for everything. And the chorus is really irritating. The lyrics are god-awful. The chorus is really annoying, so fuck that. And then out of nowhere, after the chorus, we get this quick, cool middle section which has a little bit of build-up, but the middle section is over so quickly it's pointless. And then we get like Adrian's shortest guitar solo ever. I shit you not, it's like 5 seconds. Not really that cool at all. The song feels completely underdeveloped. The production seems half-assed. Hallowed Be Thy Name. The epic off the album, considered Iron Maiden's best song of all time, best epic of all time, which really means something because when I try to think best Iron Maiden songs, I'm like, fuck, there's so many of them. This one seems to make it at the top of everyone's list. Not specifically mine, but almost everybody else's list. Everyone loves Hallowed Be Thy Name so much. The song starts out with this really melodic, sort of classical guitar line. I believe the song is about a dude that's going to get executed and then is miraculously saved and has to spend life in prison. And the lyrics are also incredible because this is one of those songs where it's not only a song, it's a story. And that's what an epic succeeds, when it tells the fucking story, okay? It's like the Wormhole song. It really drags you in. I have a hard time not singing along with it. I'm pretty sure everybody else has the same problem. It's so catchy, it's so memorable, it's so anthemic, it is so beautiful, it's so iconic. So the first part, after the whole classical part there, we go into this really great lead type of part, and then another lead part. A lot of great transitions. Some of it kind of sounds the same even though it's not. So after the whole intro melodies and shit, we finally get to the verse, and it's very badass. It's mostly just kind of simple rock chords. Bruce helps drive this whole section. And then we return to the verse again, which is more heavy, a little bit less dynamic though, more simplified, but a little bit more catchy, believe it or not. Now we get to the middle section. It builds up with this really dark and murky lead part done by Dave Murray, I believe. And then All Guns Blazing, reminiscent of that part in Prowler. The whole band is doing this really crazy riff together. Clive giving his final amazing performance with the band in this middle section, because from here on out the song is fast as fuck. And then we get to the solos, starting with Dave first. Believe it or not, Adrian's is actually more technical. We first start with Dave Murray's solo, which starts with some cool bends and some tapping, which is really nice. And then we get a little bit of improvising in the bottleneck area. Adrian's is really technical though. He uses a lot of different blues scales and different melodic type of lines. Really different though, and it really carries on nicely. And then we return to that, again, that lead melody that was in like 4 other parts, except a little bit of a lower register. Finally, we hit the chorus, which is just kind of that rock chord thing again with the verse, and Bruce is just singing Hallowed Be Thy Name as loud as he can. So let's move on to the bonus track, which is Total Eclipse. The Dave Murray writing credit, which was kicked off the album. Steve said it should have been on the album instead of Gangland, which I highly agree with. Now, the song, it kind of has a slow build-up. It's a tiny bit boring, but it's still a good song. Now, the chorus is interesting, though, because I'm not a big fan of it, and it sounds kind of catchy, but a little off-kilter. Not a big fan of it, though. Now we get to the middle section, which is actually really cool. I do like it. It builds it up pretty well. And the Dave Murray, because I believe it's a Dave Murray solo, is really intricate. Returns to the final part of the middle section, which is awesome. The song is pretty damn catchy, I do like it.